So one of the things that we're going to have to understand when we talk about the principles of real estate is also setting up a schedule. If you recall from the previous videos, I told you get your entire family on board that you're getting your real estate certificate and planning on getting into the real estate career. And the reason you want to do that is, one, accountability. It forces people around you to keep you accountable to actually go out and study, work those exams, make sure you're studying for the state exam and getting your license, but it also motivates you to not be embarrassed because you didn't do the job, okay? So people always ask, and this goes to chapters 1 and also I believe it's 15 on real estate careers, you know, how should I structure my schedule? Well, your schedule, even if you have a part-time job like I do, which is giving back to the community by teaching real estate here at UCLA and also at Cal State University, Los Angeles. You know, I'm to the point now in my career where I get a lot of referrals, or I can reach out to previous clients to actually get more feedback. But I also am very big on social media as well. So how do I get everything structured during the week? Look at my calendar, and I want you to match your calendar as much as possible, and here's why, okay? So in real estate, we normally start our weeks on Sunday to Saturday, and the reason we do that is because a lot of our showings, our actual business on Saturday and Sunday, get set up on Friday night. We plan our next week literally on the Friday before that week, because we have to go out and either be showing properties on Saturday and Sunday, or we're going to be out there doing open houses whenever we can possibly get them, okay? So on my schedule, since I work almost 75% with buyers, you can see that I actually block out Sunday, 2 showings on Sunday. And these are with previous clients who may not have had their offer accepted, and since then there's been only a couple of more houses that have come up in their area, or they've expanded their area to include cities that they weren't considering before, okay? On Monday, I go to CrossFit early in the morning. If you want more time in your life, do like I do, get up at 5:30, 6, no later than 6, and get your workout done, get your blood pumping, get your animosity for the weekend out of your system, okay? Because by 9:30, we're having our online Zoom with all of the offices nationwide. And I'm on that call because as a real estate coach, I get asked questions that I help the brokerage deal with, and also help with trainings on those live calls. Once those are over, I head to an OC office that I have, and I work out of that OC office. And what am I doing there? I get there, talk to the lender, make sure buyers' loans are still going through, that there's no issues with some of the buyers that I have. The other thing I do too is I do a lot of cold and warm calling. Cold calling for investors looking for apartment buildings, because that's kind of my forte on the side, and then warm calling previous buyers or previous sellers, and asking them, you know, have they thought about, you know, using equity to buy an apartment building, or using equity to buy a property, whatever the case may be. Usually warm calling are people you know in your sphere of influence. Cold calling is complete strangers. Where do I get my cold calling list? Well, it's pretty simple. We now have access. Most of the really top agents are given direct title access, where they can actually go into title and pull up records of people who own property, how long they've owned them, how much they owe on the property, you know, whether their phone number, their emails, and things like that. And I will just hit them up, you know, and just say, hey, you know, you've owned this property for 20 years. You're facing rent control issues with the state of California now, because, you know, they can't get, the state of California government's being run by one party, and it's destroying the state. And, you know, have you thought about maybe using your equity and doing an IRS 1031 going out of state, whatever the case may be. It also is, if I have a buyer in a specific area and there's just nothing to show them, I'll call around the people that have a lot of equity in that area and find out, have you been thinking about selling your house and moving into a different area. Same concept, okay? In the evening on Monday, because I've been, as you can see, this is in red. Red means I am actually physically working with clients face to face in a selling situation. Or I'm prospecting, okay? I'm actually speaking to people on the phone, okay? So here I've written up offers. Monday night I follow up. Why? Because most offers are looked at either Monday night or Tuesday night, whichever the case may be, depending on the listing office. On Tuesday morning, I set up all my social media advertising and videos for the entire week. I don't do it every day. I set it up in advance on a schedule, and every month I also, at that same time, do that the weekly email for a hot property or new listing, or my clients are looking for a property somewhere. You want to do your social media as much in advance as you possibly can. You can set up social media posts and videos a year in advance, sometimes even more than that. The same thing goes with emails as well. So I set up my emails in December for this year, and it took me all of 2 hours maybe. And what they were is every month there's some kind of holiday. So I set up all 12 months, and then I set up another email during the month, that is something newsworthy, something that's affecting real estate, something very valuable. A Wall Street Journal article, Bloomberg article, a London Financial Times article. Notice I didn't say anything about a TV news article whatsoever. I'm not quoting Zillow. I'm not quoting anybody except for maybe the National Association of Realtors, a leading economist like Logan Macastrani, or I'm pointing out that the sales may have dropped in certain parts of the country, but here in California they continue to rise at somewhere between 1% and 3% right now. All right, that being said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I go into the office so that I can actually work out of the office. What am I doing? Following up on offers, checking escrows to see if there's any documentation that I need to fill out or my clients need to fill out. I'm setting up inspections for my buyers or my sellers. I'm working on marketing material for new sellers. With Sync, we have a built-in marketing program that actually is pretty phenomenal. It pulls everything right off the MLS, and we can actually email, do a postcard, and have flyers all done in less than 90 minutes. Mailed, ready to go. They used to take us 9 days to do all that, okay? Technology is wonderful. Work for a brokerage that has a lot of technology, okay? And training. So this is what I'm doing in the office. The other thing is too, I might be training an agent, mentoring an agent, maybe even preparing for classes. So as you guys know, I teach at Cal State LA during the spring and fall and spring semesters, 2 classes. And then I also have the class at UCLA, and on Mondays coming up, you'll see Mondays in June having your class itself. So this time is done, and the reason I go into the office is the office actually is relatively close to UCLA and Cal State LA. So what I do is I just go to the office, and then I just go here, and then I go home. These days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I am literally getting up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, working out or getting things done, ready for the day, getting in the office by 9 o'clock, teaching in the evening, and not getting home until almost 10:30 at night. 3 days straight. And so 6, 7 hours of sleep, maybe, if I'm lucky. But if you are really successful in this business, you do make sacrifices, and there's a reason why. Watch. On Thursday after I go, I'm actually pretty active in the Mahjong community. And so I always go to these events on Thursdays, sometimes they're on Saturday or Sunday. They're about 3 hours, and they're kind of my go socialize and have a good time thing. And every once in a while somebody says, hey, I need your help. Not bad, huh? On Thursday as well, early in the morning, I text a lot of past clients and just ask them, have you planning on making any real estate decisions this year? On Friday, after working out, I go to the office in Orange County, and then I do some more warm and cold calling, looking to see what kind of business I can drum up. And then in the evening, I go home early. Friday night is date night. And so what I'll do is I will set up all the showings and open houses and everything else on Friday night for Saturday and Sunday, okay? And if you look up here, I'm actually gonna be sponsoring a golf tournament. I sponsor one every month on the first Saturday of the month. And a lot of my clients are in that group and also refer me business at that group. So in a way, yes, I'm having a good time, but I'm also using it as an opportunity to make some money. And then of course, we see that there's a buyer showing there as well. Saturday night depends on what's going on, but you get the idea. You gotta block everything on your real estate career, everything. Personal time, family time, date time, whatever the case may be, it better be on that calendar and stick to it. You're on 15 or 30-minute increments, you're gonna have to live like this. Because if you do not structure it like this, what ends up happening is every time mom gets sick, kids get sick, the family needs somebody to meet the plumber, it's gonna be you because they think that you're just a part-time nobody, when actually you are a full-time position. And you know, this is a 60-hour-a-week job, easy. I mean, if you look at this, I'm doing 50 to 60 hours a week minimum, sometimes a lot more depending on how busy we are, okay? So keep this in mind. This is one of the first things you need to do is set up your calendar right away. Oh, it didn't even stop. Stop!